let's talk about 4 different ways you can postpone your spiritual awakening. There's a lot of talk about what you can do. Just want to touch on what you shouldn't do if you're into that sort of thing. If you're into growing and realizing your truest nature. And I wrote it down this time just so I can remember. So first, spiritual awakening is something that is an ongoing process, in my opinion. It never ends. You continuously up-level and get a deeper and deeper connection. And it is somewhat subjective, you could say. When are you asleep? When are you awake? I think of it sort of like the temperature. Some people think 50 degrees is hot. Some people think 70 degrees is hot. Some people think 100 degrees is hot. No matter where you are on that scale, eventually the temperature gets to an undeniable hotness. It can be whatever, 120, 130, 140. At a certain point, no one in their right mind would say that this is not hot. This temperature is extremely high and I'm sweating. It's an undeniable hotness. Even though for some people they might say it's earlier, some people might say it's later. And I think the same is true for awakening. For some people, their level of consciousness, what they would consider awake, another person would consider asleep. But at a certain point, your consciousness is so expanded that it's an undeniable, like, this person is awake. From whether you're a Buddha, Mahavira, Ramahama, I can't say his name right now, Rahaman, Krishna, Christ, whoever your awakened being is, there's a certain point where it's undeniable. So, the first thing to do to prolong your spiritual awakening is to think you are better or worse than anyone else. Whether you're putting yourself on a pedestal saying all these people are dumb, all these people are so unevolved, these people are just idiots, or you're putting yourself below everybody and saying there's no way I can reach to these states, this awakening isn't for me. Both of those are going to put you in a trap that keeps you locked into this lower frequency. And this is because consciousness alone is. There's really not much you can even say about the truth of consciousness, because once you try and define it, it becomes untrue because it is beyond words. But it's still fun to talk about. So the same consciousness that animates me and animates this tree and animates this bug over here, it's the same consciousness. And that is, you can call God. And so there's no difference between you and another person. You have the same animating life force inside of you. Therefore, you have the same potential to recognize this, to realize your true nature as anybody else. There's no one more special, less special. It's just a matter of time and the law of evolution. There's just certain things take more time than others. If you're 10 years old and you wish you were 30 years old, no matter how much you wish you were older, you're just gonna have to go through the process. And that's the same with this spiritual awakening. So don't think you're better or worse than anybody. You are where you are at for a reason. It's perfectly good for you. Second thing that will slow you down from your spiritual awakening is expecting a guru to do it for you. Expecting to get a magical touch on your third eye and now you are awake. That is not how it works. And expecting anything outside of you, whether it be a plant medicine, a priest, anything outside of you, if you expect to just get touched and they'll do the work for you just because you show up, it's not how it's going to work. Even if you have a spiritual experience with somebody, which totally can happen, I've experienced that in my life as well, you're still going to have to do the work to integrate that experience. You don't just get to blast off and then all of a sudden you are in a new place. You get a glimpse at what's possible, and it's very helpful. They're teachers, a guru, the plant medicine, whatever. They're teachers and they can help you, but you have to do the work. You have to integrate moment to moment to moment until it becomes your new reality, until your conscious awareness grabs a hold of this glimpse and integrates it fully, which, like I said, never ends. Which kind of leads into the third one. The third thing that will slow you down from spiritual awakening is blame others for where you are at. When you start placing the blame on your parents, on society, on your friends, your family, whoever, if you start placing the blame of where you're at on them, you're not gonna grow, because you are you're projecting all of this potential onto these people, and you're taking away the foundation right underneath you. The whole foundation of awakening starts with accountability. It starts with ownership of your own situation, because on the highest level you chose this incarnation in this place and time for whatever reasons you have to learn. It's may or may not be revealed to you in this lifetime, but you chose this place and time for a reason, and now you get to grow from it. It's not your final destination. This life is a bridge. It's temporary. Pass through it. Don't build your house on it. Use it as a stepping stone into further and further growth on this cosmic, eternal journey we're all on. So blaming others really isn't going to help you. You're just going to keep on kicking that rock down the road until eventually you get to the point where you recognize you have to take full accountability, full responsibility for your life. Then you can start to actually do the work to get to that next level. And the last thing for this video that you can do to prevent your spiritual awakening is to avoid the present moment. We can do this by wishing the future was where we're at, or if we are rejecting the present, wishing things were the way they used to be. Anything but looking at the present moment where we are right now. When we shut down and we close, we don't have the energy that it takes to expand, to grow into the next level of life. Just the law of physics. If you have whatever, a light, and it's glowing, and then you cover it up and it's not glowing as bright as if it were open into the elements. This is the same idea of you're closed off to this present moment, you're closed off to what's in front of you, therefore you're dimming your light, you're lowering your energy, and you don't have what it takes to make this ascension. And this is one of the core of Buddha's teaching, is the root of all suffering is desire. You can desire for the future, you can cling to the past, whatever that attachment is, it's going to disturb your peace. It's going to disturb what is. You're essentially just lying to yourself and thinking that if you changed your outside circumstance, then somehow that would change who you are. And that's fine. If you want to try that, try it all that you may. Eventually you'll come to the realization that it doesn't actually change anything about who you are. You can have all the money, all the fame, all the glory. You're still going to be a beggar for your true nature, because that's all outside, projected into the external world. And that's fine. Some people, that's all they're interested in. If that's you, you're not watching this channel, and you're definitely not made it to the end of this video. If you are interested in growth and expansion, you have to do a 180 and look within. You need to turn from the outside and start looking within yourself. And that is what allows you to realize and to awaken to your true nature and the nature of consciousness, the nature of this reality. That's when you start to become the unbounded, unbreakable, unmistakable, just beaming energy of who you truly are. And I'm still working on this all the time. I've had glimpses of what that state feels like for myself, and I know that I'm capable of being in that state at all times. And so it's a practice every moment to moment, regulating and elevating, getting to that space where the mind, you basically have to go beyond the mind. That's what it comes down to. When you raise your frequency beyond the mind and you get to consciousness itself, then you start to have these breakthroughs and these moments, these glimpses that once you have them, it's just undeniable. You can't, no one can convince you that what you know, your intuitive instinct, once you know that, they can't dissuade you. It doesn't matter. I've experienced it, I've tasted it myself. There's nothing that anybody can say to convince me otherwise. So you have to get to your own individual experience and expression, which there's got to be endless. As many different people on the planet there are, that's how many ways that the divine can express. It's all so unique. So you eventually stop looking for anyone. You stop following anyone outside of you, and you know you just have to go within, and that never disappoints. With that, I love you. Have a great day. Ciao.